We're live. We're good. We are okay. Hey, okay. Hello.
Hello.
So, how's it going?
Oh man, I'm just out here
It's a
chilling.
Friday?
Yeah,
Is it
it's
nice
a Friday. It's actually quite nice outside, very windy. How are
Hey,
you doing?
I don't like the wind. I don't like the wind at all.
I don't either. It fucks up your hair.
I'm 133 pounds, and so like
Are
the
you
wind
really?
will. Yeah, no, the wind will
You're
blow me.
133 pounds?
What do I look? What do I look like?
How tall are you?
Like 5'8"ish.
Maybe like 140 at least.
140. See, when I'm on a regular diet, yes. When I eat 3 meals a day and work out, yes, naturally. But even then, if I wanted to, like, I guess, increase or get more gains, my gain range is, like, I guess, like, 160, I guess. But, like, I guess my normal, like, 3 meals a day, kind of, like, working out all the time is just, like, 145, 150.
How, when you're doing something like that, how long does it last until you revert back to, like, your lifestyle that doesn't maintain that?
It depends. It's like this time around, it was more of a seasonal depression thing. I don't even know if it really was like a seasonal depression, but I can remember the day where I just stopped working out altogether. It was like, because I'm having back issues too. So I've been, for the past maybe 2-3 months, I've been doing nothing but like just PT and just like rehab, going to chiropractor and everything. Because I actually had, if you can tell, my feet are a little fucked up. I have a scar right down the middle of my foot right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Oh, I see.
actually, a lot of my problems stemmed from having foot surgeries and everything.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So
Do
then
you still feel effects from that?
I actually just got some new foot levelers from the chiropractor.
Okay,
And
that's cool.
They're really cool because they're able to, they have arch support on each side. So like they have support on the front of your foot, the back of your foot. That's why they call them foot levelers. And then on both sides too. So literally level all your feet out and every like last little ligament and muscle and tendon that's like not being activated. Cause I feel it all the time, especially when I go to the chiropractor.
What do you feel?
Like I do decompression sessions, and so it basically is just a machine that just sits me on the table and they pull me like it doesn't go more than
For
maybe
your
about
back?
Mhm.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it doesn't go more than maybe about half your body weight.
It feels so good.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But even like after a couple times, there were times where I feel like muscles in my quads activating again. It's like,
What do you mean? Why is that a problem?
oh no, it felt great. It was amazing.
Oh, so you're saying because you do that, you start to feel your legs rather than your back?
Exactly.
Good.
Exactly. And so like everything was kind of just pulling down on my back, which is causing my spine to compress, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you can keep up like your fitness, if it doesn't hurt you anymore, then you have some motivation to do it again. No?
It's like, yeah, no, definitely. It's like, because last week it was the first time. So I was still kind of active here and there. Like I'll go play 7-on-7 a couple times. But like last week I went back, like started playing basketball with friends, and then like this week I actually went to the gym and actually lifted. So for right now I actually can't like put anything on my back, because like wouldn't probably be the smartest thing to do.
Yeah.
But like for a little bit and kind of tailoring a workout around that.
Definitely.
It's hard now because I play football, powerlifting, and so
there's so many good resources to do that though.
I know I'm finding them now, but like I guess it's hard to break old habits, I guess.
Yeah, I would say that your diet probably has a large part of that. Like if you were to get your diet in check and know what you're doing in the kitchen, it would make working out a lot easier.
So I have like, because like so you took a look in there, so I have like stuff like chili, and because I was thinking, especially like moving out, being on my own and everything, having meals that I wouldn't have to come back and cook all the time, especially with work, school.
Yeah.
You know how it goes, because you're in school and you work too. You all in the gym all the fucking time, so you always have to maintain some kind of eating like pattern or schedule, kind of, right?
Well, there's 2 questions you can ask. Is 1, do you like to cook? And 2, what foods do you feel like you could eat throughout the week?
First one's yes, I do like to cook. I realized that lately. Second one, I really can't pinpoint on that. It's like when I was going to work, I quit my job like last week. But when I was going to work,
Rip.
it happened. Hey,
Yeah,
I've never been more free.
Right?
And
Yeah.
I've never had more like just guys headspace since then. But like then I would usually I cook like maybe like a brisket or pulled pork for my like weekly protein kind of thing, and then I'll throw it with some eggs in the morning, or just make a breakfast taco in the morning because it's easier.
Okay.
And then if I want to take it for lunch or anything, then I'll take maybe like a barbecue sandwich with it, or like even like take more tacos, like with some lettuce, pulled pork, everything, and green sauce.
Let me ask you this: why pork? Why pulled pork and
It's cheap.
barbecue?
It's cheap.
It's cheap.
It's cheaper.
How
right
much
now.
is it per pound?
Right now?
And are you getting this frozen?
No.
Okay, so how much is it per pound?
Per pound, right now they go for about. So I just bought one. It's roughly like $8. So they're.
$8 per pound? Are
like
you
a 7
joking?
pound. It was like a set. No. It was $8 one. It was $8
okay.
pulled pork. No.
Oh, I see.
Hell
I was
no.
about to say, like,
No,
you're eating some gourmet shit over here, dude.
No. It's the opposite of what I just said.
I
So,
got you.
like,
I see what you're saying. So
yeah.
about like $1 or so.
Yeah. So like it's cheaper for right now. Chicken's cheap too. That's the thing.
Chicken's very
And
cheap.
chicken is that's the thing is like finding new ways to make chicken. I guess
For sure.
instead
for sure.
of just like 'cause I'm just gonna fry the shit. Just me. I'm either gonna
Yeah.
fry it or I'm gonna go out there on the grill and marinate it and grill it.
So you're looking for something that tastes good and also is cheap and yeah, right?
Yeah, kind of just expanding my own palate, I guess. You know, 'Cause I
Yeah.
eat a lot more. I guess I'm more inclined to eat vegetables now than I was when I was younger. Cause like I never like shit like corn and everything. I did not fuck with corn at all. Like now, I will fuck with corn all day.
I think that's part of the problem is like I'm going to assume you buy corn in a can.
No. Cob fresh.
Really?
Yeah. No, if
See,
anything,
that's pretty uncommon. I don't think I've ever been, unless I'm at a barbecue, then like I'll see corn on a cob.
see, I would do that, and that's like the times I do because see, you go like HEB or something, and they'll have like steaks on sale for like maybe like 4 steaks for like $20, right? And so I just do that. I'll just go grill steaks, grill the corn, make some elote out of it. You had elote?
Mm-mm.
It's like that Mexican cream corn kind of thing. You
Oh,
ever seen like
okay.
they put it like on a stick, and it's like a lime.
Yeah, it's
like a
tasty,
lime
yeah.
mayonnaise, and then like what kind of cheese? It's like either Parmesan or like cotija. Like
It's got some pepper on it too.
yes, the red pepper.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I would do that anytime. But yeah, more than less, I'll grill my corn.
See, that's one, the way that our economic system, not to cap on capitalism completely, but it functions so that the people who are in a lower class, us, and I just use mine wisely. Like I know how much I'm going to spend at the grocery store and I keep food a priority, but like you probably could too. It's just a problem is like because of the way it's structured, those people don't have access to the foods that someone might. So it looks like what you're looking for is something that's cheap and something that's convenient and tastes good.
Exactly.
And I mean,
that's fast food in a nutshell.
oh yeah, for
You
sure.
know,
It's
like-
poisonous, but you know, whatever. I think McDonald's in particular, but fuck, I could eat the fuck out of a McDouble. I love
Yes.
McDoubles.
Yes.
But I think that's most people's dilemma when it comes to food is like we're so used to knowing, okay, protein, that's like meat. But we don't specify which meats have the best content, are the healthiest for your body,
Fat content as well.
fat content especially. So, I mean, most people could probably switch out and substitute particular foods like with corn, maybe put avocado or asparagus, something like that. Avocado is a fat, but it's a good fat.
Well, so avocados are one of those superfoods, right?
Yeah, definitely. I love the way, like, I feel I started eating them about 2 years ago, and they do help with your energy. But the point of all of that is if you do start to have a better diet that's, like, consistent throughout the day, you eat fruits and yogurt in the morning, or, like, you have eggs plus egg whites, which are about $4 per container, but worth it. It can last you a week.
What's the difference between just eating egg whites and eating regular eggs? Like, do you get more protein or just is it leaner from the egg whites, I guess?
Well, they extract the yolk, which holds all the fat in an egg, so you just get the protein content, which is really nice.
I never knew that.
Super easy to eat. I mean, you can get a fuckload of protein from that. And it's just the small things that, like, we don't necessarily make aware, although, like, we may see it in the grocery store, but we're going in the grocery store and we're not trying to look for new healthy foods that we we have no knowledge about. We're like looking for foods that we're familiar with.
And what can fit our lifestyle too.
What can fit our lifestyle? What's going to be the best for my bank account? You know? And so I just think that the way our economic system function has a big impact in how people...
Or what people consume. Or what people consume in general, I guess. Or across from, like, from food, television, music, everything, really.
Everything.
You know, but right now we're talking about food, so we'll stay on food.
Food's good.
Food is great.
I love food.
No, see, my favorite food, I would have to say, if there's nothing else, it's the good sandwich. You can blend anything on a sandwich.
You can blend anything on a sandwich.
You can blend the bread. You get different bread, different meat, different vegetables, different sauce, dressing, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's why I like.
You know, using like salad dressing is maybe a condiment that you would use like mayo or ketchup or mustard.
I say that. I would use mayo. I don't really like Italian dressing.
Italian dressing? That'd be such a fucking weird one to put on a slab of bread. What about like ranch? I mean, well, they pretty much do that.
It depends. On a turkey bacon ranch, yes, because it makes sense. You know what I mean?
There's certain foods that blend better together.
You know?
I will tell you, though, I got a PB and Cool J from Burger Mojo. I've had it 3 times now.
Is it actually good?
It is.
I've never
9.9 out of 10.
I have not brought myself to try a peanut butter and jelly burger.
It is
at all
amazing.
Burger Mojo, anybody from Burger Mojo is watching this, shout out to Burger Mojo, because that's the most certified place in College Station right now. Burgers, breakfast tacos are good as shit too. Fries are good as shit too. The chicken nuggets are good as shit too. And I really haven't, especially as like a small, just individual like place, I guess, like not like a chain restaurant. It's like being from here especially is such a relief.
Yeah.
Having somewhere else to go besides like Whataburger and McDonald's and shit. But
Burger Mojo ain't even busy when I go up on Holloman though. I'm like, that sounds
You go to
nice.
one on Holloman?
Yeah, because I live close to there, yeah.
Okay.
It's cool.
It's crazy because like I'm actually the same distance from both of them. You wouldn't think so, but I looked it up. They are the same distance.
Holloman's got to beat it. Less people are going to be there than University.
But the thing is, I have to drive down Holloman and have to cross the train tracks.
Yeah.
And then, if you know anything about driving in College Station in general, if you go down Welburn and you hit any of the lights crossing Welburn, you'll be at that light for a fat ass minute. That's why I don't like going to that one.
Yeah, that's what happened on the way here. Mm-hmm. I got stuck at the train tracks behind a really long line.
Exactly.
College Station.
It's College Station infrastructure.
College Station grow.
It's growing. It's growing
it is.
At a fastly slow rate. I don't know. Like it grows fast. Are you born and raised here too?
No, I was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I came here when I was 2 years old.
So you're basically just Texan by heart at that point.
Yeah.
Wait, do you really remember anything from New Mexico at all? Or you ever been back?
Yeah, me and my boyfriend Jake, we went a couple years ago, and we went to a few Airbnbs, and we hiked and went skiing in Taos. My ankle was hurt though, and then we went to Albuquerque, and I actually saw the house that I was born in because I asked my parents for the address. I was like, "Let me go check this out."
You were born in a hospital?
I was born in a hospital.
Okay, I'm about to say.
I was born in I guess what I mean by that is
you grew up in when you were young.
That those 2 years, and there's turtles outside on the deck and stuff. So I don't remember much. I think I remember falling off a trampoline or something, but other than that, I just have memories from Texas. So College Station in particular.
Yeah, no. It's
what about you?
Born and raised. Born
Nice.
and raised College Station, Texas. People ask me, and they're like, "What? Like how?" I'm just like, I had no other choice, I guess, until I was 18, and then I guess Stockholm Syndrome, comfortability.
Oh my God, Stockholm Syndrome referring to a city, that's pretty funny. No, I feel you.
I mean,
but I feel you.
That's kind of every hometown in a sense.
Yeah, definitely, because
go ahead.
Well, I am going to move to Dallas. Got apartments ready to go, sublet my place. I've never been out of College Station, not on my own, especially. And so, I'm just sitting here there are certain things that this town, its culture is what I'm brought up by. So I like the culture here. I feel like I've developed decently well here, but I know that there's other things that cities can offer, so I really want to go see the culture. But I do being brought here. It was nice.
It's weird because it's a more or less conservative town, I guess. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's not very conservative, I guess.
Well, people are coming from other places.
Everywhere. So
yeah.
Especially talk about summer day camp and everything. Like with our counselors, one thing I noticed is that we had counselors of every single race and from counselors from every part of America. So it's kind of like growing up around them and growing up around college students in a very diverse university. Really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I guess getting used to college life wasn't really an issue, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there's certain places if you are someone who values being conservative over, like, the education that you get or, like, where you want to go and be and, like, what school has this credibility, then you can definitely choose a college based on its, like, level of conservativeness or liberalness. Like, people who want to go to a more conservative school would go to Baylor. People who want to go to a more liberal school might go to UT. You know, so there's, like, so many different areas to explore.
I think a lot of schools are starting to, like, I guess, lean towards more of, like, a liberal approach, I guess. More or less.
Yeah.
I mean...
Unless the ones that are based on values, like Baylor Christian University, like, that I don't know if that they would ever... But then again, they may be called that and labeled that, but are the students, like,
the same
acting in that way? Yeah. So, like, I don't know. It could go both ways.
Because I feel like there's always been protests on colleges and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
I
remember, because I was going to ask you, you posted on your Snapchat about that one
Yes.
guy. I wanted to ask you about that, too.
Yeah.
Like, what was he talking about again? It was like...
So, I study philosophy, and Really?
As a philosophy minor, I want to major in communications.
Okay, I gotcha.
Podcast.
Great. That is a wonderful combination because I wanted to minor or get my master in communication because philosophy and communication
go hand in hand.
But outside the YMCA building, I think they do this because people want to debate over there, like rather than going over by the engineering buildings or STEM. So they come around there a lot outside the academic and YMCA, and it'll be like, this man in particular, I don't know the woman that was with him, but she was holding like a bunch of factual points about how Jesus Christ like was real and the Bible is real. And I had like two thoughts. Either these people are out there just to hear people come and debate them. Maybe they're doing a social experiment. Or they really, really believe this. So I would like stand there for 5 minutes and I would listen to the person that was talking to them and kind of hear them banter back and forth. And like, I don't think I've never talked to them because nobody's going to change their mind. And honestly, like, I don't feel like they would have a good argument for their side just because of the signs that they put up in the first place. So I'm like, that would be a pointless conversation. I don't want to go argue with someone just like...
Yeah, that you can't really change their mind, I guess. I mean, not even really like, trying to change their mind, I guess. I guess from a philosophical perspective, I try to, especially with talking to people who I don't necessarily agree with, I guess, I try to go from like more of a Socratic approach, you know what I mean? More just like a listening and asking questions and also making more or less broad statements that could kind of get down to the pinpoint of what we're trying to get to, I guess.
Oh, so you're trying to get personal?
Like a little bit,
For sure.
Like a little bit. Like
Socrates was very nurturing.
As a person, me like interacting with people, I'm able to get like information out of people very easily. People like usually offer information up.
Okay, Mars and Scorpio.
It's not even like, all right, wait. I mean, like, yeah, a little bit. I forget my Mars and Scorpio.
So, is the... And let me just ask you this. What do you think about astrology?
It's highly accurate bullshit.
It's a good way to put it, but that's an oxymoron.
Exactly. Because it's like throwing a dart at a dartboard, I guess. You're gonna hit something. You may not be accurate with it because the way I see it is that astrology gives us a basis based off where you were born, but everybody's different. You know what I mean? Everybody has different experiences.
Did you put your time in?
Like researching astrology?
Have you ever looked at your birth chart?
Yeah, I have.
So you know the exact time you were born?
Yes.
Okay, so the information on your...
8:48 p.m., I think. Yeah.
So that's what you put on Snapchat?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, continue.
So, let's see. Who was it that introduced me to astrology? It was... what's her name? It was French class, my freshman year. Dana Bader.
That's
Dana
exactly who
Bader.
I was thinking of.
Yes.
That's so funny.
Dana Bader introduced me to astrology. She basically had this book about astrology, which I'd never ever seen before, never even heard of it at this point, and asked me when my birthday was, and proceeded to read me a brief synopsis of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of like or more or less, I guess, not the true kind of inside, I guess, It's kind of like, oh, shit, like, what book is this? And that's when it kind of hit me. And at first, I got into, like, going through high school, it's like the meme astrology and shit, you know what I mean?
It still kind of is.
It's all it always is. But now, when I learned my moon, that's when shit really made sense.
What, is it Sagittarius,
Yes,
right? Okay.
Yes. Because I'm a Pisces sun, if no one knows. But the Sagittarius moon made a lot of sense. 'Cause I was like, that's why I feel this way sometimes, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I guess, from my perspective, someone can read astrology and say, this has nothing to do with me. This does not describe me at all. You know what I mean? But I guess, like, if it does describe you, I mean, why not run with it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily, like, me personally, I don't read horoscopes every day. You know what I mean?
What is a horoscope?
I guess, like, the things that, I don't know, like, is there, like, a actual, like, definition? I'm looking it up, actually.
Well, so when you read your horoscope, let me ask you, do you go based on Pisces or do you go based on your rising?
Do you know my rising?
No? Libra.
Yes. Does that make a little more sense?
Do you read the Libra horoscope?
No.
So, horoscopes are read to try and figure out the energy of the day. So, how it's done is you have your individual chart.
Mm-hmm.
And all 12 planets, they have the same name, they all run through the same degrees, and they have the same 12 signs and planets like associated with them. That's been stuck. So what it does is it takes the current planetary transits that are happening and it puts them on top of your chart so you can see how the
planets and stars were aligned.
Aligned, right. But that is based on your house system.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I haven't actually learned about the house system. I've read
key.
I've read everything, like, just from where it starts and then where it goes down to where it ends.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never actually, like, looked into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a pseudoscience, but I will say that it's I think it's a quite logical thing to assume that the planets do have an effect on us. However, there's no exact evidence, scientific evidence, because it's just has not been proven. So,
but at the same time, you say that, I mean, if you read your horoscope or if you read your synopsis of your sun sign, moon sign, or rising sign, and they add up to what you really feel, I mean, who can really tell you wrong? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's like it almost feels like you're throwing a dart at a dartboard just in general, though, because it would be nice if the universe had some type of law. But there's no law, so...
There's a book I have in my backpack. It's Neil deGrasse Tyson's book, The Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. The first page of that book is actually said the universe is in no obligation to make sense to you.
Yeah, exactly. So we try and make sense of it. We create religion. We create different, like, systems of people living, different, like, purpose to our jobs. But psychology, which is, I think psychology is kind of the collaborator with astrology. One just has much more ability and fruitfulness for scientific testing, which is psychology. Mm-hmm. I mean, they've clearly demonstrated, because psychology was a pseudoscience during Freud's time, because just the lack of evidence and experimentation they had done. But now they have so much experimentation and brain scans, et cetera, et cetera. They know how each hormone or chemical in your brain can affect your physicality, that at this point they have enough evidence to definitely deem it a science. So most people will tell you, like, oh, I've had people that feel comfortable taking the MBTI, because I've been into astrology since 2018.
What's the MBTI?
MBTI is a personality. It's a Myers-Briggs personality test.
Myers-Briggs. Okay.
And
I never actually, like, heard it in the acronym of it. People just say Myers-Briggs usually. Okay. MBTI, yeah, I remember. I remember doing that 'cause I took a psychology class as well. And it's crazy because, like, what we were talking about earlier, psychology, philosophy, and communications all go hand in hand with each other.
Understanding humans, human nature, and understanding how to talk to people.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like with the MBTI, it seems to be the case that more people are comfortable when I ask, "Oh, what's your Myers-Briggs personality type?" and or people are more open to take that test than feel comfortable with me
Astrology.
analyzing a birth chart for them. Yes, I've noticed that.
Would you say astrology is a lot more taboo? It's definitely a lot more taboo.
Yes, because people have taken it in some type of, I don't want to say religious, but spiritual. And I mean, I assume you could. You're talking about like planetary bodies being some type of connection with us. But
the Bible does say we're in this world, but not of this world.
And I mean, people can interpret the Bible like
and we were talking
each to their own.
I was like, I told you I was playing basketball a little bit yesterday, and we had a brief talk about that actually, about like religion, but not really religion, just kind of like the separation between religion and the word of the Bible. But continue. Yeah, I don't want to get off track real quick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's something to talk about, and you can really get to know how someone understands the world by asking that simple question. You know, like, do you read the Bible? Have you read the Bible? Do you have any religious like beliefs? And then you can.
Were you raised in a religious household? I guess.
My dad's side of my family is Jewish, so when I take a blood test, I'm 50% Ashkenazi Jew, and I feel that has a lot to do with like how I feel culturally. My mom's side is just German, English, Christian, but neither of my parents displayed any type of moral obligation to their religion, and therefore their actions just did not speak it. So I never thought much of religion at all, but I did want to find something because I felt out of control, and that's what people want in religion is like
the sense of control.
Yes.
And a sense of, I talked about this yesterday, a sense of belonging to something that's bigger, that you feel is bigger than yourself.
It's peaceful. It's peaceful.
It's peaceful. It's reassuring as a person. Like I was told you, I was watching, because you brought up all my books down there, and I was watching Of Mice and Men, the movie the other night, and I think it was the slave Crooks. He talked about how devastating and how much being truly lonely can just eat away at somebody.
Yeah.
You know, and not having a sense of connection to anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being completely disconnected from, I guess, any sense of reality. Because reality is whatever you make it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like I said, there's the consciousness we have in our brains, I guess, has the ability to differentiate, between what we want and our desires, I guess, and what's actually in front of us. To, I guess, put it in a better perspective. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling, too.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I mean,
if you can really pick up on what I said, I don't even really know what I just said anyway.
I think I pick up what you're saying. Like, there's definitely something greater that allows us to, like, feel we're not alone, but we have to differentiate between, like, being in this reality and knowing that there is something that's not real, but we're connected with it type of deal.
Exactly.
Metaphysics.
It's
a lot, but yes, astrology is taboo, and I think also people who I see like TikToks and stuff, and people will be using crystals, and they're like, they associate astrology with crystals. I never use crystals. I know nothing about crystals. I'm not gonna lie, I think it's beautiful and aesthetically pleasing, but I don't know anything about that. I don't know about like energy transferring. I like to light a candle, but to me, it's a very logical practice. There's nothing spiritual about it. I mean, there's Uranus, it means this. It's in this degree. How is it an aspect with another planet? What does this mean? It's fair.
It's the same way you can, I guess, from my personal perspective, it's kind of like the way I can see how I just feel on different days. You know what I mean? Some days you may feel way different, just from the rip, just getting up out of your bed, then you feel another day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and definitely.
So definitely. Could it be the chemicals in your body? Of course. Could it be the stars, the sun? Of course, but who's to say that all of these don't go hand in hand at the same time? And like I said, that's where astrology, kind of the study of it, I guess, kind of comes into it, I guess, the pseudoscience of it.
People want, I think, so the studies that were done back in the 1920s, their idea was astrology is not a science because, one, the lack of evidence and falsifiability, and two, the fact that you are like trying to predict something. People want to come, they use the examples of people coming to astrologers, which many people in history have done, and they want a forecast read. Something like a forecast. Oh, you're going to have this type of love life, or like this is going to happen in the next 10 years. You cannot, like, that is taking responsibility for someone else's life. In a way, like, what if that doesn't happen and you were trying to expect that? Like,
and then it leads to let
down and mistrust, and like I don't think astrology is good for predictive measures. I think it's more so, okay, like Sagittarius moon, very philosophical, very open to experience. They feel emotions very spontaneously, free thinkers, they're opinionated, and usually it has to do with like how the mother acted, and then, you know, how she responded to your child needs. But like there's just something about it that I think is useful in determining how a person may feel or act, because it's nice to be aware of another human's energy.
It's a start, you know? It's somewhere to start, I guess, from understanding yourself.
Yeah.
You know? Especially. And like I said, when I first got mine read, it was kind of like like, oh shit. Like, someone else knows. Like, the camera's in this bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the first way. That's the way it first felt. And then like learning about like my whole entire chart. Like I said, I have Mars and Scorpio.
Uh-huh.
I kind of know what that means, but I kind of don't.
Well, what do you know about it?
As kind of getting a synopsis of like all zodiac signs like all together. I know Scorpio is probably the most like intense zodiac sign.
Mm-hmm.
One of them at least. And you know what? I really don't know. I really don't know that much about it, I guess. Yeah, let's look it up, actually.
Well, it's in a good position. Mm-hmm. Mars is a masculine energy. Mm-hmm. Venus is the feminine energy, and both of them are types of love language, and drive. Mars is...
So one of them doesn't have like a set one. Each of them kind of plays with each other based on like parts of your life, like love, business.
Yes, they play with each other.
Okay.
They're in relationships with each other. So that's how it makes up a singular person. Mm-hmm. And Mars is in good condition in Scorpio because it's ruled by Scorpio. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's like a lot. Would you like me to just tell you about Mars and Scorpio?
Please do.
For all you Mars and Scorpio people out there, Mars is a very driven planet in Scorpio, and it can be kind of black and white in how it takes its actions. Like, it's either doing one thing and really intensely, or it's not doing it at all. It's hard to get in between. And this is a very general description because, again, the planets play with each other. Mm-hmm. So
that's why exactly what I said. It's like throwing a dart at a dartboard. You're gonna hit something. You're not gonna probably be pinpoint on what you're on, but you're gonna hit. Mm-hmm. You're gonna score some points on the board.
Well, so Mars is about drive and action. Mm-hmm. It's ruled by Aries, the god of war. Yeah. And so Aries, the sign, is also good condition when Mars is placed in Aries. But Mars and Scorpio are quite sexual human beings, I would say. They have a good sex drive, and they use that to not only fuel just a sexual part of their life, but that type of energy is sublimation when the sexual energy is used for creative purposes. So, you know, you can sit there and play around, be on Tinder, like mess around all day, or you can channel that energy towards something you have this idea is going to happen and you want something for yourself. So you literally throw all of that energy into it. But they're very like, I don't want to say manipulative, but they know how to get through to someone. They do not tolerate when someone lies to them because they're analyzing this in such a way where not only the person's physicality is giving off their energy, but they're just very attuned to like how to get through something with this intuitiveness, I would say. It's a bit of a scary placement because when they're angry, it can build up and almost create this action where they take out this anger spitefully or vengefully, and they may not even know that it's because they're being spiteful, because it's such a pent up anger for that moment, depending on whatever's going on. But like, if they have a vendetta, you can guarantee like some of what they're doing is fueled by a vendetta of some sort, but also just their own passion. They learn to transform negative energy into positive energy depending on how it's aspected.
From you saying this, I feel like, just from like on another tangent of astrology, people would definitely say like that's just a general statement about anybody. You know what I mean? Anybody can be that way. At the same time, how many people know their whole entire birth charts to even kind of be able to grasp that? I guess
They don't.
Exactly.
They know their sun sign, maybe.
And that's just like the surface, you know?
It's super surface level. So that's the thing is, someone can tell you something about the body. Say like just one of your friends says, "Oh, like the brain, it does this," or like you're only feeling that way because of this. But are they a doctor? Have they studied that subject that has jargon in it that must be used in order to communicate and diagnose correctly?
Using those big communication words, jargon.
Or yeah, like I mean, nobody knows what the fuck Uranus means, or like the sun. Like people don't know what that means, but because you know, you have to dig deep if you want to actually get to the truth.
Exactly, you know, and kind of reminds me of, when we say the truth at least, kind of reminds me of Plato's Allegory of the Caves at least, when it comes to like being shown the light, seeing the light and actually taking it in for what it is, and not just what the projection of what it's showing you. You know what I mean? I kind of got that kind of sense when you just said that a little bit. You know?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, you're a Leo, right?
I am a Leo. Yes.
What's your moon?
I have an Aries moon.
How does that work?
What do you mean?
I know Aries and Leo both come from fire, and so I guess me being, like I said, water, well, as a Pisces, and then like fire as a Sagittarius,
and
like,
then air as a rising.
You know, exactly. You know, I kind of think about how like I guess the elements kind of mix together too in
Definitely.
our life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm tell somebody, I was like, air and water makes what? A fucking hurricane. All right. I said water and fire makes what? Smoke. Or steam. You know what I mean? So it's just like
that is so cool.
Like kind of thinking about it that way, you know, like other ways, like kind of like water will basically like I guess nurture the earth. I guess water replenishes the earth, it nurtures the earth and everything else. So kind of things like that, and kind of putting hand in hand. And like air fuels the fire. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like, and then fire can destroy the earth, but also these things can also, fire provides light. Fire provides everything, warmth. You know what I mean? So it's like you look at what the elements are, and you break down how they apply to people and everything else, and then you kind of see both the good side and the bad side of what you can do as a person. You know what I mean? Because I feel like we're on that spectrum of like what we can do as our full functioning people, and what we can do completely just disconnected from everything.
We got free will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you really think we have free will?
I think that's a really difficult question, because you can be born with a genetic condition and your life is completely affected. Say that you have like muscular dystrophy, or you have some type of disease that's going to cause you to die in 9 years, incurable. It's no question. I mean, you have control over the time being, but you're made aware that you don't have control over how long you're going to live. I mean, I feel I have control over my life. I mean, do you?
I feel like we all do. I guess getting to a point in which you feel like you have complete control of your life. You know what I mean? Because what you feel and what is are two different things. You know, or can be two different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like your intuition versus, I guess, you're just pure thinking, I guess.
Logic versus intuition.
Logic versus intuition, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's one thing, especially like lately, it's like realized, like, sometimes if I don't think with something, it works fine. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then, like, in other situations, I do have to put thought into things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In order for it to work. Because if I go in with straight intuition, I might fuck it up.
You gotta,
know what I mean?
you gotta balance out and know which ones require that. Like, honestly, I notice when I'm studying, I have this project that I'm working on, and if I try and focus so much on it, like, I'll fuck up because I'll keep going back and forth and make sure that. But if I just kind of let go and I'm like, no, it's this, and this, I go back and look and it's fine. So I think, like, I know what you mean. I think it's a lot of anxiety too.
And that's something I've realized, especially in the past 2 years, that I have had a lot of and been dealing a lot with it. I have a podcast that says we should all see therapists. I've yet to see a therapist. And even then, I just want to know what it's going to be like actually sitting down and talking to somebody about everything that I feel going on in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And actually getting kind of a more or less concrete feedback, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
About what I could be feeling or why I may be feeling a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And really digging into my life and different aspects of my life and even my past in some ways that can affect why I am the way I am now, you know?
Yeah, so that's a funny point you bring up because with therapy, you get to release everything and they kind of use, I don't want to say the Socratic method because I don't think it's that probing. I think they try and stay, like, human with you and hear you to where they're not, like, I'm not really sure, but, like, do they give you anything to do about it? Like, can they tell you about yourself? And I think astrology can be a therapy. Mm-hmm. I think whenever I talk to people and I see the problems in their chart, I express that this could be the cause of it, but you have control over that. Now that you know this, because I've pinpoint something really specific that's freaking you out. And so you know there's, like, some truth behind it. At least you perceive there is. So now you can do something about it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a type of therapy for, like, some people.
It can be. It definitely can be. Huh.
One of my therapists said that he had an astrologer. I was like, that's cool.
And how was that? Like, did you, like, go in depth about it?
He said that he gave her, and he was a good therapist, and he had told me after I expressed how astrology was affecting my life at that time, because I think I did have trouble with astrology being very controlling over me. But he said that he had someone who he would talk with on a month-to-month basis, and it was a woman that he had been speaking with for 28 years, and she would talk with him through things, because once people accept that their chart could be a reflection of themselves, they want to know what's going on. So then predictive astrology is used, but rather than it being like, in 10 years this is going to happen, I would just tell, like
a fortune teller almost.
Yeah, like, that's some bullshit. Don't tell me what you, like, that no way. Mm-hmm. But you can tell me what's going on today in the clouds. Mm-hmm. It's like weather, like, tell me what's going on today. I don't want to know what you think might happen in 10 years.
Like, I mean, like, just like I said, you know, even the sun being out can affect your whole mood.
Yeah, the sun. Oh my God, yeah. I love summertime because I can just go outside
and be fine all
be good. The sun is beaming. Fuck.
Exactly. That's why I usually, like, especially, I hate it nowadays with daylight savings time because sunset is basically 4 to 5:30.
Yeah. And
so, like, usually I was spending that, like, 5 to 6:30. I've still been spending that 4 to 5:30. I'm outside. I'm at the park. I'm doing something. Just, like...
Always active.
It's a release, you know what I mean? Especially, like, pandemic-wise, and people just kind of still being wary about going places and stuff.
Yeah.
Just being able to get out of an environment, just changing your perspective on certain things.
Yeah.
You know, and just being able to just go outside, just even hear birds chirping, just look at trees and shit, you know?
Yeah.
And all those plants give off serotonin and shit, too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, wait, so I'm going to give you my whole... You know my whole birth chart? Because you said you've given me parts of my birth chart, so I assume you know most of it.
Okay, I'm going to try my best guess. So I know you have your sun in Pisces. I know you have your moon in Sagittarius, and I think that's at 4 degrees. And then you should just
The degree level makes sense. Makes
it's what caused the relationship between the planets.
Okay.
Like how you say 2 fire signs, like how does Leo Sun and Aries Moon work? Well, if they're both at 8 degrees, then they make a 0-degree trine, which means that it's hitting hard. You see, but if they were 10 degrees apart, it may not be as prominent, still kind of there. Mm-hmm. Like right on top of each other.
I'll go ahead and read see, I can go ahead and read mine off, I think.
Put in astro charts.
I know it's astro charts. Can you I forgot which one I used the first time. I think I used like Cafe Astrology the first time I ever did one.
The best one to use if you're curious about astrology is astro charts, and it should come up to like a beige page. You'll type in your birth chart information. You're gonna need a birth time if you want it completely accurate. And I always recommend people to ask their mothers because their moms know. Or it's on your birth certificate.
Birth certificate, that's where I found mine.
Yeah, and you'll type in the information, and it's going to pull up a wheel with the 12 signs. How to read that, it gives you how to read that below. So if you scroll down, you'll see Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, Mercury, etc. Then if you go down further, you will see the aspects that the planets make with each other. The top aspect is the most prominent, and you can look at aspects as drama, relationships between the planets that happen. If you have anxiety, maybe you think too much, maybe you aren't good at speaking, maybe you're really good at like sports or soccer, or maybe you are interested in learning languages more so than other people. Maybe you like working with technology, you know, not all people do. And you want to see, even if you just want to see if it's accurate. But the relationship will depict that. And if you go down further, you will see the house system, which, in my opinion, is 50% of the chart, because this shows where your love language goes. Do you put it into baking foods in a bakery? Is that where you find your fulfillment? Do you find it in, like, being spiritual with a person? Do you bond over spirituality? Like, what are you looking for in a person?
So I just got to the house part, actually, at the very bottom. So,
okay.
Entire birth chart. I think I've read it off on the podcast before.
If you go up, let me just try and guess this again. So, 4 degrees Moon in Sagittarius.
Yes.
Okay. Mars, 11 degrees in Scorpio. Venus, 18 degrees in Aries. Saturn, 0 degrees in Taurus. Neptune, 3 degrees in Aquarius. Pluto, 10 degrees in Sagittarius. Uranus, 13.
14.
Nice. Okay.
14 in Aquarius.
And then,
now, I know Uranus and Neptune don't change for at least like a couple years, right?
So Uranus shifts every, I want to say 8 years.
I'm about to say, like, is that where generational shit comes from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, once you get past the personal planets, like, Saturn is every 2.5 years. Jupiter is every 7 years. And then Neptune is, like, every 11 to 13 years. Pluto depends. Like, Pluto can range from 10 years, or I guess more like 13 years to 25 years.
So when it says, let's see. Wait, you already said Venus. What's my Mercury?
Aries.
What degrees? You've been good this whole time. You literally only been literally one off the whole time.
Bro, I'm going to say, I don't know, 22?
3 degrees.
3? Okay,
degrees, yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so it goes entire chart.
Nice.
Pisces, Sagittarius, Aries, Scorpio, Aries, Taurus, Aquarius, Pluto and Sagittarius, North Node. What's the North Node?
The North Node is, I'd say, like a more spiritual way of looking at the chart, but I do think that it helps. Socrates actually made some sort of like, well, Plato, like they put this in Plato's Republic, where basically what Socrates is telling you you're obligated to do is study enough and get a great enough education to become happy, and study philosophy to live a philosophical life and be like aware. And he says that by doing this, when you die, what happens, you're able to choose your next life and like what you think is the right thing to do, where your path is going. And if you don't live a philosophical life, it's chosen for you. Now, nothing like that I don't think can be depicted by a chart, but the North Node basically represents where you're trying to go, the energy you're trying to focus on during this lifetime. And the South Node is what energy you got really comfortable with in your last life, and something that you can use, they're always opposite, to fuel the North Node. So mine's in Virgo. I would say that's contributing to society, trying to live a healthy, clean, pure life, like knowing boundaries of reality. Virgo is very grounded. It's ruled by Mercury. So Virgo rules Mercury. And I would like to live a more structured and clean life. I've had problems in the past. Like, I got arrested in this town 3 times.
We've been there.
What'd you get arrested for?
Marijuana.
That's such
bullshit. Yeah.
Yup.
Nah. Yeah. It happens.
It's the system, man. They just want your money.
They don't want us to have fun. That's really it. You know. Like, I was actually watching some shit on. It was the news, and it talked about how weed is legal to a point where 50% of America can access it legally. Why the fuck is it still illegal? That just makes zero sense at all.
What, federally or
federally?
Yeah.
That the majority of Americans have the accessibility to legal weed, and it's still illegal for the majority of America.
It's a good justification to grab people into the system, put them in the system, and take the money.
The system is real. Like, people.
The system's real, y'all.
It's a big ass money grab.
This isn't like dissing. I'm sorry. This isn't dissing any political side. I just want to say that.
It's more of just it's been going on for years, you know? And it's like
it started long time ago from when, I don't know, I don't want to say it, but I think like 1500s, 1600s, I think it stems.
At least the war on drugs, at least when it comes to that, it has nothing to do with morality. I really don't think it is, because why is it that if I get caught with get caught with it, you know what I mean? Why is it that I'm so dangerous for just possessing this that I have to be taken off the streets I can't be on the streets anymore just because I have this in my hand. You know what I mean? And
weed?
Like, yeah, weed, exactly. Like, literally, I'm such a danger to everybody that the authorities have to come take me off the streets.
They don't think you're a danger to anybody.
Exactly. It's a big ass money grab, because the first thing you gotta do when you get in there, you gotta pay that $2,000 to get out. Then you got all kind of lawyer fees. Then you got court fees out the ass. You got ticket fees. You got fees that you didn't even know were even court fees. Like, then you got the community service. Then you got the drug class. I hated them fucking drug classes.
I didn't take a drug class. I just went to community service.
Oh, how many hours?
180.
Oh, shit. I got 25.
You don't even know.
Okay, but look, they made me feel like an addict for maybe about 3 weeks. So.
Really?
About a week. But still, like, we be in there on Zoom. They were all on Zoom from 6 to 9 o'clock.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. The drug classes, that's
drug
right.
Drug classes, yes. 6 to 9 o'clock. And you have to literally write out, like, what the like, trying to get over your problems and stuff and everything. I was like, well, what did you, like, identify your issue as? I was like, I was perfectly fine before I got arrested, if we're being real. Like, honestly, I was doing good. But at the same time,
well, they have to make a sheet for everyone. There's people in there for meth, heroin.
Exactly.
I don't know how many heroin addicts there are in College Station, but
you'd be surprised.
I'm sure I would.
Yeah, actually, you would, but you wouldn't. It's like weed. It really is, because you kind of realize a lot of more people do it.
I went to rehab for 4 months, and it was weird. Senior year was a weird year for me. But I met a guy who actually went to A&M, and he was addicted to heroin.
Yeah, shit. When it comes to... Because I've never felt like I had to go to rehab for anything. If anything, looking back on what I was doing before I got arrested is probably a good thing because I might have been going down a darker path without even knowing it.
Sure.
But I guess like when it comes to like, that probably been a time where I take that back because I'd be able to differentiate like when I worked at my past job, right? I go in and before, right, and like I guess now more or less it's like well. Even then, like, before then, like, I'd never do that. You know what I mean? I'd never even think about that, you know?
Well, did you ever try any other drugs?
The alcohol, of course. Alcohol, shrooms. I've done shrooms before. And then MDMA one time. 3 times. Take it back.
See, yeah, and, like, it's good to stay within that realm, the ones that aren't highly addictive, because once you hit or, like, take a drug that is very addictive. It's not a psychedelic. It's not alcohol, though I will say alcohol is very addictive. But whereas a heroin, if someone injects heroin for the first time, they have a much higher chance of getting addicted than someone drinking alcohol for the first time. So, like, I never got arrested for weed. I got arrested for Xanax, and I was pretty into it because I felt it calmed my anxiety, but I wasn't taking it prescribed. It wasn't the right way. I was going and buying it, so I happened to, like, I'd got some, and I had gotten arrested for that. And my dad knew. Like, my dad would find me sleeping on the couch with, you know, like, he couldn't wake me up, and they just knew. My stepmom and my dad knew that I was doing that frequently. I wasn't able to run track like starting or end of junior year because I slept in my car instead of go to practice because I took a Xanax during class. And then like I didn't finish a history test and I had to take it the next morning, but like that was because I was sleeping. And then one time I took it before I went to chemistry, and one of my teachers was like, you just need to go to the nurse and sleep. So I went to the nurse and slept. And then after that beginning of senior year, I was deep into it over the summer, and I got arrested September 9th, and I didn't go back to Consol because like it was bad. My mugshot was like out there. Not that I really gave a fuck, but like
in high school is just you can't. People are so fucking mean. Like
yeah, well, nobody I don't think anybody understood like that. I felt like I was going through a lot at home, and I do have an addictive personality, but that's nothing I ever wanted to show. It just had to show because I was doing it. Mm-hmm. I liked Xanax a lot, so I went to rehab for it, and I was young in there. I experienced a lot of older people that had real life shit going on, and that made me realize, like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want to experience that type of life. Like, I do want to get myself together, but it took my own will to do that. Mm-hmm. Rehab, to me, my dad forced me in it, you know, which I am thankful, you know, for him and what he did, but, like, you gotta want to go to rehab, and you can't go when you're 18 to experience that.
Mm-hmm. But you experienced that at such a young age, probably just had, like, a complete, like, I guess, epitome, I guess.
You couldn't use your phone in there. I mean, you're exposed to people who have been on drugs like heroin, and you have to go to NA meetings 3 times a week.
Epiphany. Excuse me. I said epitome. Epiphany.
Epiphany.
Yes. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. I mean, but drugs can be used in a positive way.
They can. I've realized that. Like, I talk about, like, the first time I really did, like, a good amount of shrooms is the first time I realized what mental health exactly was. You know, like, mm-hmm. The way I describe it, I saw the state I was in at the time. I saw everything as just, like, golden, like a golden haze.
Where were you at?
I was out in the country.
Okay.
I mean, like, out by a
That's
pond.
cool.
I mean, like, this is the way you're supposed to take shrooms, okay?
Yeah.
Out in the country, just with my friends. I have no sense. The sun was shining because in the summertime, I have no sense of time at all. We're just fishing, just having a good time, laughing, being loud.
That's dope.
And it's like, there's a part in me that remembered, I got to go back to the real world, you know? And then just thinking about the real world, it's like the movie, the show 13 Reasons Why. How whenever the girl's alive, it's like all like the brightness and everything, like a warm tint over it. Mm-hmm. Versus when she's not in the real world, and it's like just dark. It's like dark, gloomy, kind of like a blue tint over it. That's exactly how I saw reality.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, this is how people should feel. This is the happiness people should feel at all times. But at the same time, I have to go back to that reality, which seems just so gloomy. You know, where I have to worry about bills and jobs and money and shit. You know, and that right then, I was like, what the fuck? Like,
hey, get some psychedelic treatment.
Hey, it's actually been proven over and over that psilocybin therapy is 4 times more helpful than regular antidepressants.
Yes.
You know, like even just at microdose levels. You know,
yes.
Because
I think that's how it's taken in those trials.
Like, don't like if you take like a hero dose, like a
chill out.
Hey, go to another
plane. You just entering some different reality and shit.
You know. But no, see, you be just like that actually. If I ever come to you, if this comes to you in a dream, it's probably me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, I'll be on the lookout.
Hey, no, I just lift that little. I got one. Look, hey, look right there. Look.
Look at what?
To the left, in the little cubby, right underneath the TV. The little cubby straight ahead.
Yeah.
And all the way to the left. You probably can't see it, but it's a whole ass astronaut helmet.
Oh, I see.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, so, that's cool.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Well, go be an astronaut, bro.
See, fun fact, actually, there's been 18 African-American astronauts to go into space.
Nice.
Yes. That's a lot of school, ain't it? I mean, it might be.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you gotta be dead on. That's what you want to do.
Right? Like, just can you imagine going to space? Could you imagine going to space? Like, actually being away from, actually being able to look back and look at Earth.
You know, like, if there weren't any risks associated with it at all and I could just do it, you know, yeah, that would be, may never want to come back. No, you'd probably want to come back.
No, yeah.
But that'd be mind-blowing.
Run out of food and shit.
Yeah, you gotta eat that astronaut, like...
Run out of air and shit.
Yeah, for sure. But, you know,
eventually,
you do it for the experience. Fuck it.
Right. You ever been, like, skydiving? You ever done, like, anything, like... Had like a big like rush, like adrenaline rush experience, kind of like thing.
I like roller coasters, adrenaline rush, running. I mean, I've been on a helicopter ride, but I've never, not that I can recall, ever been like that type of adrenaline rush. Have you?
Skydiving? I've skydived once.
Yeah, how was it?
I went to San Marcos actually, and it was. Everybody got to do it at least once.
Yeah.
At least once, because it's just like. Your perspective on everything just changes literally.
Maybe for some people. Some people, I feel like you can easily walk out of that experience with nothing, depending on who you are.
Well, I guess like perspective in the moment of actually being above everything.
It's scary.
Exactly, and being above everything and seeing you're like still in your same body, but it's like you're above everything. Everything's just ants to you. You know, everything's small, and like that free fall was like because the first 10 seconds you free fall, and it's probably like the biggest adrenaline rush I've ever had in my life.
I would love to do it.
Because, like, you're just falling through the sky. It's like, oh, shit. Like,
if you're... yeah, you can choose
You see, I'm kind of getting, like, hyped up right now thinking about it. Like, it's one of those things, like, two things I say people need to do. If you can in your life, skydive. And also go to, like, New York or something. Because...
New York was cool.
Because, like, when I went to New York, like, I think I've said this on the podcast before, but, like, seeing... things like the Empire State Building, Statue of Liberty, and things that I've only ever seen on TV and in books. You know what I mean? And then, like, being in Times Square for the first time was surreal.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you get everything. You get all the lights. You get all the people. You get all the taxis.
All the culture.
You get everything.
Yeah.
It's like...
all the food.
It's like, all the food. Italian district got the best food. What's the best pizza? You had pizza there?
Yeah, I went to a small pizza place. I wish I remembered what it was called. Little Italy? It was called Little Italy.
Okay.
It was a good pizza place. I mean, I got a fake-ass palm reading there with some bullshit.
I got one in New Orleans, because why not?
Yeah, right. I told that girl, I said, you have some negative energy. And then I left after. I did not want to pay her, but of course I paid her. Rude.
I said the only time, like, the one time I went to a fortune teller, like I said, it was New Orleans spring break because I was in New Orleans, so why not? She told me some shit that actually like didn't come to fruition. Like, thinking about it. I actually thought about it, like, while
They're
she was
just there
telling
to
me.
get money.
While she was telling me, I was thinking too deeply into it. I was like, huh, I do have some big decisions coming up.
It's like, wow.
Huh.
I wonder who else has big decisions coming up.
Every fucking body.
Dumb as fuck.
Gonna tell somebody the same thing she told me. But, I don't know. Like,
Sex rings and shit.
oh shit. What, for real?
Oh, the one I went to was...
Wait, whoa. So you went to a fortune teller that was like way out there, I guess. Like, talking about sex rings and shit.
Well, like...
She brought it up?
No, so the guy... What I was there for was my brother was going... He has a friend that works at a little restaurant on the corner. Mm-hmm. We went there to eat dinner. I saw the palm reading. I was intrigued. So she came outside to give me one. I was like, I don't want to do this outside in front of people. Like, why can't we just go in there? There's someone getting theirs read, like, which is fine. But first of all, that was kind of weird. It wasn't as personal. And then after I got it done, I went over there, and the guy was like, there's been some issues with, like, people. They're basically prostitutes. Like, older men will come by at times that are the same guys and go in there, but they're not there for a palm reading, which could be an assumption. Mm-hmm. But at the same time
if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, chances are it's a fucking duck.
It's a duck. So,
yeah.
You know. I don't know, but New York overall was a fucking blast. Like,
oh yeah,
awesome culture.
What was your favorite experience in New York? If you had to pick one.
Well, I went and saw this musical called Stomp. That was cool.
Which theater did you go to?
It was one by a mochi donut place. Okay. I don't know. It wasn't Broadway because of the gala was happening that night, which I didn't go to, obviously. But I would say walking around Times Square, because that's where our hotel was, at 3 in the morning, because I'd gotten done partying with my brother, and I had a hotel. My parents got me a hotel alone. I mean, they were in a different room.
So you're chilling.
I'm doing whatever, you know. I didn't smoke any weed there. I didn't, but like I was chilling, and I would just walk down, observe the people. Me and this homeless lady talked for a while. She asked me for some McDonald's, so we went and got McDonald's. Mm-hmm. And then I went up to this other... You gotta
feed a homeless person when you're in New York. If you didn't feed a homeless person, you didn't go.
Yeah, and it's not even... I mean, they're just, you know, interesting to talk to in general.
They really are. Yeah. And, like, some of them are, like, really, really just nice, genuine people.
Yeah.
You know, they just had a bad set of circumstances happen to them.
Yeah, I can't say this lady... I mean, she wasn't quite, like... Look, people still have their problems, but you just buy them a meal, and that's fine, and you talk to them a little bit. But, like... Then I talked to this other homeless guy that was definitely on some crack. I shouldn't have done that because he started following me. And he was following me down Times Square. This was at like 4 in the morning. You know, I'm just open for the experience. I'm not afraid of things like that. I'm going to know. Yeah, like I know that we're in the middle of Times Square. It's not like I'm going to make the probability high that he's not going to pull out a knife and stab me or do anything. But he did start following me. So after about a minute and a half, there was this like big black dude next to me. I was like, hey, like, do you think that you could possibly, you know, just stand with me for a sec? And then once I did that with him, like, the guy just, you know, walked away, and he stopped following me, which was nice. I was like, thanks, man. And then, like, I got a Snapchat with him, and it was just a memory in New York, you know?
One of those random things is, like, it's kind of, it could be scary. Didn't mean for it to happen at all, but at the same time, it's a good memory.
It's not even scary.
Exactly. Well, it could have been scary.
It could have been scary, but like...
I'm scared of crack. I'm not scared of crackheads, but like...
Well, I went and talked to him, and I was kind of messing with him. But I wasn't being malicious. Like, I wasn't being rude or mean. I was just like, what's up? What's up? Like, I was just kind of fucking around with him. And he, you know, the way you respond is, I guess... I don't know how people respond, but I was just respond.
New York's a weird place, because like, I can remember... Weed's illegal in New York. I can remember distinctly people just rolling up weed on the sidewalk. When
did you go?
It was 2019.
There's weed trucks everywhere now.
Okay, never mind.
It's legal there now.
Okay, I was about to say, I was like, bro, this is... They say it is, but I'm thinking at the same time as New York, they have way bigger shit to deal with than just some weed.
100%.
So, like...
Yeah, this dude offered me... He was, like, under one of the alleyways on Times Square where you walked, you know. And there was, like, a... What do you call that? Over the alleyway. So he was selling weed down there, but not like oh, you want, like, he had a little thing, some different joints rolled up, and he was, you know, kind of promoting it. And he was in the middle of, like, lighting a joint. And I was like, can I have a hit of that? And he was like, well, you got to pay for it. And I was like, nah. And I walked away because I was just like, man, I get it, but I just want a hit of it.
I feel that.
So, whatever.
When I was in New York, going to the Yankees game was A1. Riding through Central Park on bike rides, it was amazing too. Museums, went to the Museum of Natural History, I believe.
Yes. Very cool one.
Yes. We went to at least like 3 or 4 museums. But I never realized Central Park was that fucking big.
Yeah. It's the only green part in New York.
Like, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, and he ended up riding like a good 3 miles, I think. But it was a sunny day. And there was a blackout when we were there, actually. Yeah.
That's
being in New York,
buoy.
like, yeah. Like, walking down the streets and then, like, all the lights go off and shit. It's like,
Boo.
yeah. But, no, we were fine, though. It was cool.
Yeah, that's chill.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. Now, have you ever been, like, to LA or anything?
Mm-mm.
No? I actually might go, like, next week.
That'd be cool.
That's when my roommate just left, actually. Yeah, we were head to LA.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. I've never been, like, west of Texas, like, ever.
What are you going to do in LA? What's that mean?
Smoke.
Oh, okay.
Yes, got to.
Well, of course, but it's not like you're going to go to LA and just sit in one spot and smoke.
You know me?
Come on, bro.
I could.
I do.
I easily could, but...
Sure.
But, yeah, no, at the same time... Well, this one dude today told me, the way our chiropractor's place is set up, I was getting one of my sessions done, and he was getting another one done on this one, so we just kind of talking to each other. And he's from California, too, and he said, like, they may not like it. I was like, why not? He said, it's a lot of homeless people. I was like...
Hell yeah.
I was like, man, shit, homeless people everywhere. I actually did a homeless podcast, too, about, like, homeless people.
That's what I did the last time.
Oh, no, you're all good. But, like, a homeless people podcast, not a homeless people podcast, but, like, it was talking about how, like, basically there's 500,000 homeless people in America, roughly.
Yep.
There's, like, 1.6 million vacant homes, something like that. And I was like, oh, this could be solved easily.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would be easy.
I mean, you gotta have profit. You know what I mean? Someone has to make a profit nowadays.
And someone has to create a system. Someone has to assign, like, homeless people to a certain location. Someone's got to get them there. Someone's got to give them resources to further maintain that home. Like, I think there's a lot more that goes into it, but I think the problem lies within people. And I love going to Airbnbs, trust me. But, like, people who invest in a property that they're never going to use except for renting it out to people who are of a higher income or, like, using it for college students, which is great. But, like, some people just buy a home or invest in a home and then they just do that for it to appreciate and then sell it and, like, renovate it up or, like, use it. I mean, capitalism.
Yeah.
Oh, capitalism.
It's like yes, because guys, we get to the point where it's like money and material, like, yeah, but at the same time, it's like from a moral and empathetic standpoint, it's like, no, you know what I mean? Like, something should definitely be done.
And I think a lot of people say that. I agree. However, someone's got to.
You gotta want, like you said earlier, you gotta want to help yourself.
You gotta want to help yourself, and, like, the consequences could be so detrimental to America's function, how they run their economic system, and someone's got to want it enough to put a structure in place and have it agreed upon by the government, which is a whole different, problem to solve, is the dynamics between people wanting to help and the government, who controls a lot of things that have to do with homelessness. But, like, there's just a lot of thought that goes into that, I agree that it's something desirable, but we can't, like, expect it to just be done because, like, it's wanted or needed.
That's it for you? That's all you gotta say on the subject, on that matter?
I mean,
I guess.
Look, I was the devil's advocate for communism. I did a project over it for a few weeks ago, and it's bad. America has an abundancy of resources, and we don't use them correctly to help the people that need it. We almost are turning into a socialist country because the government provides so much aid. I watched a YouTube video over this woman who lives off her minimum wage salary at McDonald's and can barely make it for her kid. She has to pay all these fees, but she gets a lot of help from the government, a lot of aid from the government. So while the government is giving us and giving them money, they are trying to take more money from people in order to do that so they don't go into debt. So things are more expensive. The taxing rates are, I don't know, it depends what bracket you're in, but still it's like, they want to be fed so they can feed, but they want to have control of it. So what I basically said was like, we should have communism, which we should not. I am not advocating communism. But so that's...
It's good on paper.
Well...
It's good. It's really good on paper.
For sure. I mean...
When you apply it to humans, it doesn't really work.
It doesn't, and I think Marx was right about the mode of production. Like capitalism, he was great at pointing out the problems with it and the consequences that us as a society suffer because it's bad. But Marx just did such a shitty job in his rhetoric approaching it. I mean, for the lower class to basically overthrow and like kill the higher class, the bourgeoisie, and then take over the manufacturing, like the means of production, the resources, and then the people have control over what they distribute. I get it, but I think Marx was way too black and white in his approach, and
because humans aren't just black and white.
Yeah, but he wasn't for revisionism, which is where you take it step by step. He didn't think that's how communism could work. You have to completely overthrow a mode of production in order for there to be change, which maybe he fucked it up, but the Russians, they did try to apply communism, and what did that turn into? Totalitarianism. So it's like, there's such repercussions, and like America has such a large population, and we are like the most powerful country in the world, yet we struggle to home over 500,000 people.
We struggle to house. We struggle to provide adequate medical care,
education,
everything. You know,
yeah.
Like, it should be the greatest country in the world. You know, but at the same time, you look at for what it is, it's not to where it should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of a point of like, you can't make everybody happy. You cannot make everybody happy at all. And once we start seeing each other as, I guess, like I said, as we should see each other as a neighbor you want to help. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Once you start, just go down the little things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just trying to help each other, I guess, spread light, I guess. Then I guess we just eventually spread on, I guess.
Yeah, and there's ways to do that without any monetary exchange. It's not that... Now, it'd be great if you have a couple extra dollars and you were going to go use that on something like cigarettes and you instead decide to give that to a homeless person. I mean, shit, they may use it on cigarettes, but that's where it's like, it's not about the monetary exchange. You can go up to a homeless person or just a stranger that you normally wouldn't. Maybe someone out of your comfort zone that's not... You can tell they're not in your cultural identification sphere. But just starting a conversation with them and being that light that you were talking about, just communicating and having one small conversation about the day and then being like, it was nice to meet you, and trying to expand your social sphere of identification to where these tensions that we have between each other because of pent up spite that like racial, gender issues, hierarchical, like economic issues have caused can be dissipated. You have a conversation with, you have no idea where they're from, what they do, how much money they make. You're just having a conversation. And then you start to see the world as something that isn't run by this system of race, gender, social status,
and
money.
Yeah.
It's run by just like conversation and being a person.
That's the good part of small talk. A lot of people don't like small talk. A lot of people just think small talk is like pointless.
You can create a balance.
You can. It's like...
That's what we're doing.
Small talk, exactly. Small talk reminds you that there's other people in this world. There's other people that you can have an intelligent conversation in this world that you can actually connect with about something that doesn't even mean... That might not necessarily mean anything in the long run. But at the same time, just for right now, you know, it's just, we're here. You know, this is our little universe of ideas. You know? And we can... Being able to, I guess, feel like we can express freely.
Yes.
You know? And like it goes back to mental health, psychology, and everything else, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Agreed.
Yeah. You know how long we've been going on this podcast?
An hour?
Hour 20 minutes.
Really?
Yes. Felt like what 30, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was taking a high guess.
Like, you know, it's like it just how it goes. Like, especially like once you time is.
Time man made, baby.
Hey. But yeah, so we cut it off right there.
I mean,
you like it?
we should do an outro or something.
Outro.
Right?
We gotta do an outro. We're gonna do an outro.
Okay.
All right. So, Kev Jackson Podcast. You want to plug anything at all? Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah. If you want to get into fitness, or if you're interested in watching like the community as such, get more tips, or see cool content, you can follow me on Instagram at JSCHECFIT, JScheckFit. Other than that, yeah, just hit me up on there. I don't even know what else to say. I love food, so come to me with all your food ideas.
We all love food. But yes, it was a great podcast.
Yeah,
Thank you
was
for being
cool.
on. Yes.
Yeah, that was cool.
All right.
Good talking to you, brother.
Always. We'll definitely do another one.
Yeah,
definitely.
that was cool.
All right, Jessica Schechter, everybody.
No, Schechter.
Schechter. I said it. I messed up again. Fuck.
Schechter.
Schechter. All right. Jessica Schechter, everybody.
First time for everything, I suppose.
I guess so.